Avort, a word to take you into Shabbat. When I was a young child, I did something for which I was not very proud. I was desperately hungry. I could feel the pain of hunger in my belly. I hadn't had a decent meal in almost 2 days. I grew up in a very poor family with a very chronically ill mother, and going to bed with an empty stomach was something, unfortunately, that happened more often than not. I found myself in a small corner convenience store, and when the clerk wasn't looking, I swiped a bag of potato chips. I put it in my jacket pocket, I walked outside, and I devoured it. And then, a day or two later, the pangs of guilt took over, and I went back, and when the clerk wasn't looking, I put on the counter the change that I would have given the clerk had I actually bought the potato chips. Hunger will lead one to do all sorts of extreme things. I'm reminded of this because in this week's parashah, after Abram goes to the land that God will show him as a reward for the covenant that Abram will be entering with God, Abram and Sarai actually leave the land and they go to Egypt. They go from Canaan to Mitzrayim. Vayhi Ra'av Ba'aretz, because there was a famine in the land. So Avram, later Abraham, Sarai, Sarah, they leave the land that has been gifted to them because they are hungry. There is no food. And they try to find nourishment and sustenance in the land of Egypt. Some of us have never really felt the pangs of hunger. I'm not talking about the hunger that comes from eating a late lunch. I'm talking about the hunger that comes because one has no food at all. And for those of us who are fortunate, we have an obligation and an opportunity to help those people, to stay the pangs of hunger that they feel. And so if you have not yet signed up to help out with a meal for the hungry, for men who are in shelter, I hope you will. There's an opportunity this Sunday. There's a link in your e-coll that will provide you with information and with the ability to sign up for this shelter meal. And I hope you will make a meal or 2 or 3 or even more. And that in doing so, you will not only help those pangs of hunger go away, but you will provide hope to the people who feel them, to know that there are people in the community who care about them. And that one day, hopefully, when they get themselves back on their feet, they'll be able to not only provide for themselves, but for others who are also in need. Shabbat Shalom.